Humility and selflessness. Your greatness reveals itself as you serve. The gospel passage for this Sunday comes from Matthew 23 1 to 12. This passage takes place in temple courtyard. Jesus is talking to his disciples, and it is the Holy Week. Tuesday evening, he's talking to his disciples about humility and the values of his kingdom. Dear friends in Christ, we find ourselves presented with a profound lesson in humility and selflessness from Matthew chapter 23, 1 to 12. Jesus addresses in these verses a group of religious leaders and offers timeless wisdom that it is as relevant today as it was in his time. The Sunday Gospel passage calls us to examine our hearts and reminds us of true path to greatness. Humility leads us to the true path of greatness. First, the hypocrisy of the Pharisees. Jesus begins by addressing the scribes and Pharisees, respected religious authorities of his time. He acknowledges knowledge of the law, but admonishes them for the hypocrisy. They preached one thing, but practiced another, putting heavy burdens on others without lifting a finger themselves. This serves as a powerful reminder that faith should not be mere facade, but a genuine, heartfelt commitment to God. In your personal prayer, ask yourself, what is my heartfelt commitment to God? The second great path to greatness is the call to humility. In the gospel passage, Jesus teaches us the essence of greatness comes from humility. He tells us that those who exalt themselves will be humbled, while those who humble themselves will be exalted. This is a fundamental foundation in humility, a virtue at the core of Jesus' teachings. Humility is recognizing a dependence on God and a need to live in harmony with one another. Two things happening here: knowing who God and his dependence in our life, and a harmony with one another. Going to last week's gospel passage, which is the greatest: love God and love your neighbor. The third, leadership model. Jesus offers a powerful model of leadership far different from the world's standards. He encourages a leadership that serves, that washes the feet of others, and that uplifts those who follow. In our communities, in our parishes, in our local neighborhood, we are called to follow his example, not seeking recognition or honor, but rather enjoy the joy of service. Everyday humility. Humility is not an abstract concept reserved for church leaders. It is a virtue that should permeate every aspect of our daily lives, in our families, workplaces, communities, parishes, charity organization. We can embody humility by serving and uplifting others without the need for praises or accolades. Jesus teaches is the path to greatness. Everyday humility leads to the path of greatness. Transformation through humility. We must recognize the transformative power of humility. It allows us to mend broken relationships, reconcile with others, and find inner peace. When we embrace humility, we become beacons of Christ's love and mercy in our world. It is through the lens of humility that we discover greatness God intends for each one of us. The true path to greatness is a call to humility, a leadership that is of joy of service, everyday humility that leads us to the path of true greatness. Transformation through humility becomes beacon of Christ's love and mercy in our world. The gospel passage, Matthew 23, 1 to 12, invites us to evaluate the sincerity of our faith, the quality of our leadership, and the depth of our daily interaction. True greatness, as Jesus tells us, is found not in exalting ourselves, but in humbling ourselves. May we embrace this wisdom of Jesus in doing so. May we discover the boundless love and grace of our Lord. The greatest among you must be your servant. Humility and selflessness.